Hello everyone, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition, and today I figured I'd bring you a how to play of River Valley Glassworks, right? This is from Allplay Games. It's for 1 to 5 players. For 1 to 5 players, it takes about 25 minutes to play and it's for ages 8+. So if you guys want to catch me in the top view, I will show you guys how to set up and how to play River Valley Glassworks. All right, welcome to the top view. First thing you want to do is we want to go through setup, or I guess we want to go through setup, right? So first thing you want to do is you want to take all your glass pieces and you want to go ahead and throw them in the bag. Now I will say this is the deluxe edition, so it has glass pieces. I believe it's cardboard in the regular edition. This is just deluxeified pieces. Also, these would be cardboard pieces, and I think it's not dual layered boards, but just remember this is a deluxe edition. So first thing you do is you take all your pieces, your glass pieces, be they cardboard or actual little fancy glass pieces, you dump them all in this fancy little bag here, right? Now, if you're not playing with 5 players, you leave out all the black glass. So we have it set up for 4. So we have all of our glass and we've gone ahead and thrown it in the bag. Next thing that we want to do is we want to place out the playmat, right? Once the playmat's out, we want to put out our 6 river tiles, right? And remember, these acrylic ones are the deluxe. It might even be hard to see here, but there are cardboard ones in the regular. So once you do that, you go ahead and put a piece of glass on each one of these tiles based on how many rocks are on there. So you're either putting 1 or 2 pieces of glass, right? And you start from the left side of the board and you go all the way to the lake. The lake is not considered part of the river. So you go ahead and you see there's 2 there, 1, 2, 1, 2. Go ahead and put all that glass down. Once that's ready, you go ahead and fill the lake. You grab 5 pieces of glass at random, obviously, blindly from the bag, and you put them on the lake in the 5 little spots that they give you. Once you have that done, you have each player pick, I'm gonna have to take one of these apart really quick. You have each player pick their Glassworks that they want, right? And you want to make sure the single player with this side is face down. So you want this side face up, this side, and you know it's single player because it has that little light bulb gear, face down. You go ahead and then give everyone their matching board. I'll raise all this up. As you can see, sometimes they're a little harder to see, but they match up with the different characters. This one's easy because it's Cornelius D. Shellworth. That's obviously Cornelius D. Shellworth. All right, so you give everybody that little score section. You also give them their meeple, their marker, and everyone puts their marker on the 0 spot, that first spot there. Once that's done, each player takes a pan. So each player gets one of these pans and they randomly draw 3 glass pieces and put it in their little pan. And after that, you go ahead and you figure out who the first player is going to be. Remember, this is deluxe, so we have this fancy wood one. The other one I think I put back in the box, so it's a cardboard cutout of this guy. But whoever the first player is, you determine the first player by figuring out who was the last to see a river. We're going to say old Cornelius over here. The player for Cornelius was the last to see a river. Once that's set up, you're ready to go ahead and rock and roll. So what is this game? In this game, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have the best collection of glass at your glasswork factory. You do that by either taking glass from the river or taking glass from the lake. I almost confused myself. From the from the river tile or from the lake. Once someone has collected 17 pieces of glass, you go into endgame, and we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so the first thing that you do, you have 2 things that you can do on your turn, all right? Starting with the first player going clockwise around. First thing you can do is you can place and gather. So what place and gather means is you would take one of the pieces of glass from your pan and you would place it on a tile with a matching shape. So let's see if I can find a matching shape. So you guys can see we have this one. Whoop, whoop. It matches that shape. We can go ahead and set the piece of glass on that tile, and we can pick an adjacent tile to pull from. In this case, we only have this tile, so we would pull these 2 pieces and we would put them onto our plate. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you have 2 of the same shapes. I'm glancing around to see if anyone has 2 of the same shapes, And this part, it's not the color of the glass that you're looking at, it's shapes, but we don't. But if you have two of the same shapes, let's say I have two of these triangles, you can place on any of these tiles. And then once again, let's say I have two, why don't I have another triangle? Let's cheat here for a second. Let's say I have two triangles, forgot to turn off the heater, sorry, it's kicking on. So I have two triangles, I could take these from my plate and set them on any one of the tiles that I want. And same thing, I would take from one of the adjacent tiles. I would take all the glass that's on that tile. All right, so let's say we go here. Now I'm going to take this one. You take that glass and go ahead and put it in your pan. This tile gets picked up, goes to the end of the river, and you just push it all the way forward so it all bumps together again. And then you fill that tile based on the rock that's there. So we have one, you randomly get one, you put it there. Once you do that, now you take your glass and you go ahead and set it on in your Glassworks. So you have to start at the leftmost spot, right? And so you build your rows or your columns. You build the rows by different colors. So let's say we have all these different colors. We put them down like this. We build all these different rows. Now if you have the same color, let's say we had pulled one of these, you would put it in that row. If you ever have more of that color than you can fill, you would go ahead and put it over here in the overflow, right? The overflow is -3 points for every piece at the end of the game, so you try to avoid that. Once you do that, you count how many pieces of glass you've set in your glasswork, and you move your person that many spots. So in this case, right now, let's say they just placed one. So let's actually go back and put everything back to par. Where do we steal stuff? We stole stuff from here. All right, so let's say old Cornelius just decides to put one down. He puts one piece right there. He moves himself one spot on the score, or not on the score track, but on the track that gathers how many pieces of glass you get. If you place two pieces down on that turn, you move two, so on and so forth. That's one thing you can do. That's all one action. That action is your place and gather. You're placing a stone in the river and you're gathering other stones from the river, right? Now, the other thing that you can do is you can draw. So if you don't have the ability to place here, you can draw from the lake. Or you don't want to place here, maybe you want something that's sitting in the lake, you can draw from the lake. How you go about doing that is you have to take 4 pieces, right? You have to take 4 pieces from here. And you take these, and you go ahead and you bring them over to your pan. Now, your pan can only hold 5 pieces. In this case, we have, I can do math, 6 pieces. You could pick any one, you take one of those pieces and you put them in the overflow. And then that's the end of your turn. Turn goes to the next player. So the 2 things that you can do is you can place and gather and then put it into your Glassworks, or you can draw, right, and put pieces into your pan. Anytime you have more glass here than you can put, it goes to overflow. Anytime you have more glass here than you can put, you have to take it out, right, and put it in your overflow. Now, you keep doing that on your turn until someone gets to 17 pieces of glass in their Glassworks. Once that happens, you go to end game. In game, you finish the round. So let's say it's player number 1, right? On their turn, they go ahead and they hit 17. They've gathered, they've placed here, they hit 17. It starts the end game. Once that end game starts, any player that has fewer than 3 pieces of glass goes ahead and draws up to 3 pieces of glass. Once that's done, you finish the round you're in. So if we had started with this person, these other 3 players get to do their turn in clockwise order. Then you go one more time around. So starting with the first player, you go one more time around. Once that's done, then you go into scoring phase. So for scoring phase, we're going to do a little bit of cheating here so I can kind of point out some scoring for you guys. So let me go ahead and throw some pieces of glass. I'm going to steal them from everyone just so I can show you guys scoring, right? Who are we stealing glass from? Who has glass? Who has glass for me? Oh, those are different colors. That's the same color. There's that color. Let's steal some glass from over here. I'm just stealing everyone's glass. This is not how you play the game. All right, glass. And see, this is a different color, so I'm going to put it here and then glass there. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at scoring, right? So this is how you go about scoring. You score your rows, and then you score your columns. So first off, to score your rows, you score your furthest row that you have going across, right? Or you score all your rows that don't have a gap. So in this case, this row would score, let me see if I can get it close to you guys without dropping anything. I might drop something. It's not gonna happen, yeah. All right, so as you see, this bottom row, because there's no gap starting from left to right, goes all the way to 16 points. Now this next row only goes to 2 points because there's a gap. So you would get 18 points for that. Then you would go and score columns. And you score your two tallest columns. And those columns are, if they're the same, you just go ahead and score the left one and the right one. So here we go. So in this, you have numbers that are underneath. So here you have a 3 and a 6. So that would give you 9 points. You would take your 9 points plus your 18 points, which puts it at 27 points, right? And whoever has the highest points wins the game. Now in this game, if there is a shared victory points, like if there's multiple winners with the same points, you just share the victory. I kind of did that wrong. If you have multiple players that have the same points, there's no tiebreaker. It's just you share the victory. All right, everybody. That's how you play River Valley Glassworks from Allplay Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game. It's for ages 8+, and it takes about 25 minutes to play. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.